All right, the Canadian Football League goes into week 16. Just so you know, I will not be doing like full on, like kind of like spread picks or anything like that. I write for 3 Down Nation and I do the best bets piece. And so if you want the actual picks to click for the week, that would be where to go. But a preview of the week ahead. Hamilton taking on Toronto. The Hamilton Tiger Cats have actually been playing better football lately. Just kind of whisper that one in there. But this team is actually playing some okay football right now. And a couple of things have happened. One, Bo Levi Mitchell isn't turning the ball over. They are +6 in turnover differential in the last 3 games. And because of that, look at this. You're holding onto the ball, you're scoring points, and you're winning football games. A wild situation out there, for sure. But yeah, the Ticats, to Bunk Tuesday's point there, they have finally woken up. The offense was always good. It was just they were turning the ball over and putting themselves in some really difficult spots. You're facing a Toronto defense that has given up 285 yards plus through the air in 4 of their last 5 games, including once to Bo Levi Mitchell. The Argos are in the bottom 3rd in the league in passing yards allowed per game. Also, defensively, Chris Jones. This is not a pro Chris Jones podcast by any stretch of the imagination. I was on This Week in the CFL and the Ticats audio network and came dangerously close to giving him a compliment. But not pro Chris Jones at all. That being said, my guys coached up a defense. The Ticats in the 3 games since he officially took over have allowed 24 points per game. If that were their season total, it would be the 3rd best average in the league. Now, this defense was dog shit for a while, and so the season-long numbers aren't going to look very good. But I do think Hamilton is going to be able to kind of keep this game close, and I would not be surprised if the Ticats pulled off a win. Out here in Calgary, it is the Stampeders taking on the Saskatchewan Roughriders. Speaking of team-specific shows, I do a show called the Reiner Happy Hour here on the Couch Potato Diary Network. That one is on podcast, and it is on the YouTube channel as well. You can see the Rider Lucha mask behind me. So yes, go green and white and all of those things. I know we got some... The Calgary folks here with Deeds and Toxic, but you guys know where I'm coming from on that one there. But this is a must-win for both teams. The entire way that, like, by the end of this weekend, everyone in the West could be within 3 points. If Calgary beats Saskatchewan and Edmonton beats Winnipeg, then BC Winnipeg are at 14 points. Edmonton's at 12 and Saskatchewan Calgary is 11. For the Riders, this is an opportunity to kind of put this team away. And just kind of like Calgary's had some problems lately. Now they got a tie against Montreal, some fucking how, but there is now a chance to put Calgary away if you go out, win this game, and then all of a sudden, Calgary is, what would that be, 4 points out of a playoff spot. Not insurmountable when these two teams play again in the last game of the regular season, but it's a chance to really just like add some separation there. And they would be within 1 point of a home playoff game, whether it be the West semifinal or the West final, depending on how well Edmonton does against, how well Winnipeg does against Edmonton. You also do have to worry about Edmonton coming on strong. The Riders, while they are in a top 3 spot right now, CFL.ca put out that social media graphic today with the they had the bracket out there, and they actually got it wrong to start. They had Edmonton in that 3 spot against BC. It is technically right now Saskatchewan, but no one thinks of Saskatchewan as a top 3 team in the West because of how well Edmonton has played. I do think the Riders have played okay, but they don't have the big plays that make up for some of the big mistakes that they have made. It's a lot of just like small, short, whatever. And when you do that, you have to be perfect. And the Riders, for the better part of 2 months, have been far from perfect. Penalties have been an issue. Turnovers have been an issue. I am also worried from a Saskatchewan standpoint. Carney and Lanier are out for this game, as is Milligan, who right now would be my MOP candidate for Saskatchewan. He is attending the birth of a child, so he's not going to be in the lineup. So there's a chance now for Calgary to take advantage of this. It's just been so bad out in Calgary for a bit. And again, they dragged Montreal into the mud in a 19-19 game. But the offense isn't moving the ball barely. Defensively, they are giving up too much. far too much for what was supposed to be a pretty good defense this year. And so I think Saskatchewan is going to come up with a win. Yes, a very nice reason he's out, Bunk, and not one that I'm going to criticize even a little bit. I know some people get on athletes for that. Not me, man. That is a beautiful thing. And even if he has 108 kids, that's still a special life experience. I actually don't know the family situation there at all. But all of this to say, I just think Saskatchewan's better, and I don't think that's a Rider bias or anything like that. I just think the Riders are a better football team than the Calgary Stampeders are, and at some point they're going to show it. And I think that point is this week, so I do think the Riders get it done. The 3-down piece publishes before props come out, and so I do feel comfortable giving these two out. I am going, a couple things I'm looking at. Hickson over 55.5 rush yards. There's some shops you can get that at. And Dedrick Mills under 60.5 rush yards. The Riders' run defense is just mwah. And that means I think they're going to put Mayer into obvious passing situations, which don't go well for him. Also this week, it is Montreal taking on the Ottawa Red Blacks. Ottawa, it's been a really cool story, the turnaround. We said coming into the year, this is an improved football team, and they really have showed it. But that was kind of abysmal last week against Hamilton, and they had one really bad game against Montreal earlier this year where they had 4 turnovers in that game. I worry about the complexities that Montreal can show on the defensive side. And now I worry about Ottawa on defense. With Darius Pickett out for the rest of the season with an Achilles injury, he has been a beast so far. Second on the team in tackles with 52. He's also added a sack, an interception, and a forced fumble. I just think with the turnover issues the offense has had, with the injury issue there on the defense, Montreal does find a way. And lastly, Edmonton taking on Winnipeg. This is just going to be a really good football game. Edmonton has been on another level. Winnipeg has been winning, but I didn't come away from those games against Saskatchewan thinking, oh boy, here come the Bombers or anything like that. They've just kind of been surviving a bit. Now their defense is good. Their defense is legit and going to be a very interesting test for Edmonton, but I think the Elks end up getting it done.